also known as HSCRF. I want to welcome everyone to the Management of Self seminar. I hope you had the opportunity to register and grab some breakfast. I just want to say a few words about holistic science and HSCRF. HSCRF is a non-denominational, non-profit, focusing on achieving balance in all aspects of life, whether it be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. We welcome members of all faiths and encourage them to continue their practice while incorporating universal principles of holistic living. HSCRF defines holistic living as a combination of outer materialistic living and our understanding of inner living through mind, speech, body, intellect, and consciousness. It is the purpose of holistic science to combine all available knowledge from science, technology, and spirituality to develop new approaches to solve age-old problems of our lives so that we can live harmoniously with one another and start to recognize, cherish, and sustain the natural treasures we've taken for granted. Let me talk about some logistics and give you an overview of the agenda. First, the most important thing, the bathrooms are located to my right, so if you exit through that, that doorway, make a left after we exit, and the bathrooms are on your left side. As far as the agenda goes, we have interesting talks on how we can live a rich and meaningful life. We'll have discussions on various topics that touch all of us: diet, communication, finances, and professional life. We hope to meet your expectations. In case we have not addressed something that is a burning question for you, please ask that during our Q&A session or come up to one of us during a break and we'll make sure that it's addressed. We have a little change in agenda. Instead of going with our first topic on the list, we're going to have the Diet and Communication Symposium, which was the second last item on the agenda to begin the program. So what we are going to do is we're going to start off with one of our youth talking about his experience on diet and food. So at this point, I want to welcome Akshay Patel, who has come all the way from India to talk about diet and food and his experiences as they relate to holistic science. So please help me in welcoming Akshay Patel.
Good morning all, and welcome again. I am Akshay Patel, and today I am going to talk about one of the most essential elements. Is it fine? The most essential element of our life, that is food. But before I begin, a little introduction about myself. I am a mechanical engineer by qualification and working with a multinational company as an assistant manager in R&D. I have been with this group since childhood, and only due to Dadaji's divine grace, I am what I am today. I'll be sharing my experience on food and diet with you. So I'll be going through food and diet experience that I have. Little bit of gas in my stomach made me think about food and diet some days ago, and that is what I'll be going through in my experience. But before we begin, I would like to go through the basics, that is about food and diet. Food is a substance that is consumed to provide nutrition to the body. It can be in form of plants, animals that provide nutrition such as carbohydrates, proteins or vitamins. But diet is the sum of food consumed by an organism. So you get so much food. For example, the breakfast table had 10 items, but someone would have picked the things that he likes, or someone would have picked the things which he would have decided. That's what diet is all about. So let's understand the effects of those things, the effects of consuming X item and consuming Y item. The effect of any food, water or air that we consume is directly affecting our control over our mind or our consciousness, our living basically. So food, air and water has a direct effect. If you haven't complete knowledge about how it works, then the effects won't be there. Just because of incomplete knowledge, there is an effect or disturbance. How it affects? Food has a direct effect on our mind. So as it's been said, as you eat, so are your thoughts. And water has a direct effect on your speech. As you drink, so as you speak. As you eat, so are your thoughts, and as you drink, so as you speak. So let us understand this science. This is all science of atoms. But you can directly understand this science through physically through only taste. There are 6 basic tastes of foods: salty, sour, bitter, sweet, astringent and pungent. All food has varying extent of these elements, these 6 basic elements, due to which we need to eat different foods. But the thumb rule for this ideal diet is one should consume different kind of taste, and as it is said, above normal and below normal both are poison. One needs to have complete consumption of different foods, giving us all different taste. And as you can see here, the tastes are correlated to the properties. Some taste will be giving you strength, the other taste will be cleaning your blood. And this is something very subtle science. Going further, there's a question being raised about different taste. I said above normal and below normal both are poison. So let us understand what is normal. Normality is different for everyone. One just needs to remember that it's not a dumping site. Whatever you get in your hand should not be dumped it. As a case, cold water has a severe effect on our stomach. So it's not a dumping site. Food has to be understood. I have a quick case here. Have you ever thought why we need to eat? Is it for the organs? Is it for the tongue? Or is it for the stomach? Has our stomach ever said that I am hungry? That is all the questions that raises to my mind, and that's where I went into the analysis of the effect of home food or restaurant food and effect of different foods. So that's where a question was raised: what should be an ideal food for me? Basically, what it has been said that ideal food consumption is 50% of your stomach should be full of food, 25% with air and 25% with water. And that is the ideal food consumption. Also, presence of mind is very vital when you consume food. Most of us in the new era have a habit of eating while we drive, while we watch television. If you don't have presence of mind, it is a direct effect would be an heart attack. That's what it has been said and proven too. So this was all a knowledge that I had, and we'll be going through the different experience that I have. Basically, in analysis, I am a science student, so I always believe in experiments. I had defined things that I wanted to experiment on type of food, timing of food, quality of food, and quantity of food. How are they affecting me physically, mentally, or in my inner science? That's what I wanted to understand. So it began. It began with the first experiment that I decided to do, which was on natural food only. Only natural food, uncutted fruit should be consumed for 1 month. That was an thing that just struck me, and I started off with uncut fruit juice, salads and things. It helped a lot. It had a direct effect on my willpower. I had full control on my mind, body and speech. And this was not something that I was doing. It was something like I was getting help from nature too. Even in satsangs, I used to get dry fruit as prasad instead of other prasad. So that was a natural help that I was getting in such cases. It increased my common sense. The biggest challenge is confusion in new era. Everyone is confused. It increased my common sense. The second experiment that I went through was on timing, where I learned that if you eat only once a day, then it has direct effect on your dosing. So those were my experiment and my experience sharing on food and diet. Hope it helped and gave you a small glimpse on food and diet. This is what I said was nothing that I know about. I've been learning from everyone here, and a direct effect of Ahar Vigyan. Thank you.
Thank you, Akshay. Seems like I had a good breakfast, you know. Before we get into our next talk, I wanted to pose a question to the audience so we can maybe modify the format of the program. Are there any non-Gujaratis in the audience? Okay, so we have one gentleman who raised his hand. And does anybody have difficulty comprehending or understanding English in the audience? Okay, so that gives us an idea of if you want to make any modifications going forward. અહીંયા રજની અંકલે સજેશન કર્યું કે ગુજરાતીમાં પૂછો કોને ઇંગ્લિશમાં પ્રોબ્લેમ છે. Right.
All are senior and this thing, they should understand. But whatever he says, that is not in the book.
Right. What you're bringing up, you must have a telepathic mind, because the next topic that it's going to come up is, on the same diet and food will be presented by Dr. Sailesh Anandji. And let me take a few minutes to introduce him. Dr. Sailesh Mehta, we respectfully call him Dr. Sailesh Anandji, is a practicing ophthalmologist who owns a hospital in Vadodara, India. From his childhood, he was curious about the deeper truths of life. He came in touch with self-realized holistic scientist Akshay Patel, and through his grace, Dr. Mehta attained self-realization in 1977. Dr. Mehta is a celibate and is deeply experienced in the field of holistic inner science. He devotes his time to studying, researching, and spreading the message of holistic inner science. In his quest to spread the message of holistic science, he has traveled to countries such as USA, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. His speeches on holistic science have been well received at national and international conferences. He is the author of several books, which include Introduction to Holistic Science and Integral Living and The Science of Liberation. What Dr. Mehta is going to talk about is diet and food and nutrition, not only from the holistic science perspective, but also from a medical perspective. Please help me in welcoming Dr. Mehta to the stage.
Good morning to everybody. I'll take you further from where Akshay has left, and I'll have both the perspectives from the recent researches in the medical science as well as what the holistic inner scientists have said about the thing. And I'll try to mix up a little bit of Gujarati in between for the benefit of my senior citizen people. And there are claps. But why don't you raise the hand that we want Gujarati? See, this is the seminar for us, by us, of us. Let us be completely informal. We are not here to teach you formally. We are just here to exchange our experiences and knowledge. So, diet, I'm going to talk on both perspectives, health as well as spiritual aspects as related to. And Akshay has said about diet, food, drink and air. But let me take up further things. Have you ever thought about food or intake for all five senses of ours? It's not only which is taken by mouth. What eyes see, what ears hear, everything, all inputs make, I would say, input or diet for ourselves. So food for mind, this is a very commonly known. We should pay enough attention to this aspect. Food for soul. Here we are going to have all the three aspects during the day. And I thought, okay, let's go from simple. Let's not go from soul to body. Let's go from body to soul. So we get more geared up to the things. And food is also described as medicine. Somebody said that you should be aware that your food itself is your medicine and medicines we take. Am I audible properly or should I adjust my mic? Am I alright? I'll try to see. In doing all these things, my time will run out. So, insight about the diets. What's the purpose? Do we live to eat or eat to live? Ask yourself. Most of us live to eat. And the concept should be eat to live. Why? We want healthy body. But why we want healthy body? Because we want healthy mind and ultimately for the healthy soul. Why really we want to live? Does it matter whether we live fewer years or longer years? Yes, we want to live to have the spiritual progress, inner evolution, upliftment, and to achieve our ultimate aim. So unless the purpose is clear in our mind, the rest of the things will not fall in its place. Effects, Akshay has already elaborated, it has effect not only on body, but on mind, speech and soul, atoms and molecules he just mentioned. So time, amount, time, way of taking food, effect of different types of food, value of fasting, eating less than hunger I'll take as the things come. Now let me first go through the modern science perspective. And you must have read so many things because it's an information era. But I came across some good inputs, and Dr. Furman and others. He's a doctor based in New Jersey. And there are two colleagues who have researched over the years, almost 20, 25 years. And he has come out with certain very good truths. And first is USA is a country of big people. Obesity is an epidemic over here, or overweight. And that is leading to chronic illnesses like diabetes, high cholesterol, heart diseases, and even cancers. These are all documented research things. And what is the cause? He finds that the cause lies in poor dietary habits. Use of more animal proteins, more animal foods in way of non-veg. Use of processed foods, preservatives or chemicals, and there has been studies about aspartame or artificial sweeteners also, that it leads to so many problems. So what is the healthy food? Nutrients upon calorie. The food which provides higher amount of nutrients in relation to given amount of calories is considered to be the healthy food. So the plant-based diet, greens, fruits, nuts and seeds are the first choice because it contains phytochemicals. Phyto means plant-based, and fibers. So these are the pictures of obesity. Here even the child can claim that I am more than 100 plus. So BMI, body mass index, this is a very common term, mass in kilogram upon square of your height in meters. If your BMI is less than 18.5, you are underweight. 18.5 to 25, somewhere you may find reference as 24 or 25 is normal. Above 25 to 30 is overweight and over 30 is obese and high risk. So abdominal fat, this lady is measuring the abdominal fat over there, showing. So whatever fat, the deposit in bank is good, but to have the fat deposit in your tummy and over the waist is certainly no good. It's a bad indicator for health. And believe me, almost all Gujaratis, including myself, do have that fat deposit in the bank of tummy and waist. So abdominal fat or waist circumference, male having more than 40 inch and female having more than 35 inch, you are inviting more problems. Some important information. Avoid processed foods and refined carbohydrates. White bread, white rice, snacks, pasta from refined grains, pizzas, a very famous American food. People offer me, would you like this pizza or that pizza? And I just wonder whether I should really ask my tummy whether you can digest the pizza. So potato fries and so on. Why? The reason is because these foods lose or they don't have fibers, phytonutrients, vitamins and minerals, but they have more calories, oils, fats and trans fats. Fried foods and oils. Gujaratis are very fond of all farsan, and believe me, Gujaratis are one of the highest sufferers of coronary heart diseases and bypass. So fried foods and oils, refined or extracted oils, including olive oil, they are rich in calories and low in nutrients, so be careful. Fat, sugar and refined foods make you fat. Cheese, another very common, very popular ingredient. It contains saturated fat about 10 times as much as chicken breast, so keep it at minimum. Soft and cold drinks. It contains sugar, chemicals and its coldness. So again, it's not a health-friendly thing. Animal proteins or animal foods. There has been a research named as China Cornell Oxford project. And T. Colin Campbell researched it. I'm not going into detail. You can get the detail in the book Eat to Live by Dr. Furman. And they found out that increase in animal foods is directly proportional to increase in cancers. So animal foods, areas with extremely low consumption of animal foods, we are having negligible rate of heart attacks and cancers. Diet rich in vegetables, fruits, beans, nuts and seeds is the healthy diet. There is another gentleman, doctor from US only, William Casely. He is MD. He did Framingham study in Massachusetts, and he found that vegans have very low cholesterol levels. Vegans not only don't eat animal products, but they don't even take dairy products. So here is the comparison of animal-based diet versus plant-based foods. In animal food, mainly we are focusing on non-veg. It leads to increase in cholesterol, increase in cancer, more arthritis, more saturated fat and cholesterol, whereas plant-based diet lowers the cholesterol, protects against cancer, more of fibers, phytochemicals, phytonutrients and antioxidants, and it is rich for nutrients per calorie base. So again, to summarize, what one should avoid is animal foods, chicken, meat, processed and preserved foods, cheese, oils, pizzas, soft drinks, potato chips and fries. Believe me, I am not against anybody. I am not here to propagate against McDonald's. If animal products cannot be totally avoided, keep below 12 ounces per week. And what is good to have is a large bowl of green salads, large serving of steamed greens, cup of beans, ounce of raw unsalted seeds, fresh fruits, tomatoes, spinach, etc. Cereals should constitute 30% of the total calories, and flax seeds or nuts containing omega-3 fatty acids such as walnuts are good enough. So in a case of food pyramid, a large part should come from greens, raw and cooked vegetables, fruits, nuts and beans, cereals later on, less of sugar, salts, oils, minimal or no animal meat, fish, etc. So here is this food pyramid where the vegetables are maximum, followed by fruits and beans and the rest of the things. Now let me come to the second part, holistic inner science. What the holistic inner science or the previous enlightened people and the present enlightened ones have shown the focus on diet. and will be happily surprised that this has been said thousands of years back, and our modern science is coming nearer to that. So how to eat? As Akshay just mentioned, always eat in presence of reflective consciousness. Your chit should be present there. Unfortunately, most of us don't do that. Most of us eat while watching TV or while talking on a mobile phone. You may be gone to office and you are eating here, so your wife asks, this was tasty, no? The gentleman has to fumble. He doesn't remember what really I ate. So always eat in presence of your chit. This side knows very well that what the other side eats like. So chew properly, know all the taste. And one step further, how the enlightened ones eat. They say, pray first. Because by a little prayer, your reflective consciousness will come back to your own self. You will have in a nice inner environment. Then start your food. Be quiet, take your meals in the presence of reflective consciousness. Type of food, pure, simple, easily digestible and sattvic food. Gujarati ma kevu hoy to sado, sattvic khorak. Sado doesn't include lot many items. Simple, easily digestible food. Preferably it should be freshly prepared homemade food. I understand that in USA you are not going to agree to me. Everybody is running after job. Who is going to prepare the meal? But this is to be known. Let's see how best we can go there. Why? Better to avoid outside food. Akshay has already told. There is a molecular configuration of a cook, and his or her mental vibrations or attitudes do affect our mind, reflective conscious and body. Outside food may adversely affect purity of our sight. And this is my personal experience. At lot of times I have experienced this. So if at all, if you have to take something like fruits and some things, but please avoid, if possible, the cooked foods of outside. Type of food. As long as it is hot, it has a tej tattva and it is easily digestible. So please try to avoid the food which is cooked many hours before. Food with all 6 days, Akshay has already mentioned. Use of ginger, adu, it's a very good thing. And Indian kitchen, traditional Indian kitchen is supposed to be a good laboratory because a balanced use of spices and condiments make your food a very healthy thing. Amount. Consider 4 parts of your stomach. Fill 2 parts by solid food, 1 part by liquid, and keep 1 part empty for the movement of gases. Don't fill overstuffed like what we do in our bags while we are going from here to India or from India to here. This stomach is not like that. Always eat little less than appetite, such that you feel like empty or hungry even after finishing your food. And if somebody offers you something, you may be able to take it. Don't take it, but you should be able to take it. So to help, why? Not only from health perspective, but this is important from the point of inner awareness along with your health. Now, another important concept. Should we have a better strength in body like a sumo pelwan, or should we have a better strength of mind and speech and soul? I leave it to you to consider. In present times, powerful body with a weak mind may make one like a beast, an animal, uncontrolled, because our very seminar is harnessing inner self. Now, let me go through Gandhiji. Had he had any fat on the body? He was a very weak by body. You slap him and he may fly away. But he made impact on the entire universe. Rajachandra, still a leaner body. I don't suggest you to become like that. I'm just drawing your attention to another aspect, that whether we should be going for a strength of mind and speech and soul or for the body. Dada Bhagwan. We had been witness to his body. He had no fat on his body, but he impacted the entire world. Mahavir. It is said that the body of absolute ones, they are so much balanced, each part of their body, no fat, but so lovely, balanced proportion. So this is the concept, timings. We eat by habit and not by hunger. Even I. Time થઈ ગયો છે ખાઈ લેવું જોઈએ હવે. But have you asked your tummy કે ભાઈ તું અંદર લઈશ કે નહીં લો? So we don't eat by need, we eat by habit. In Eastern world, on our side where sun is available, sunrise and sunset are not varying very much. Breakfast should be 1 hour after sunrise and dinner should be at the time of sunset or little late, not more than that. Why? The reason is body's digestive system. It is direct connection. When the sun sets in, the body's digestive system goes into less functional mode, and so the late night foods are not easily digested. You will find it difficult to get up early in the morning and so many things. So this is a science. See, the absolute ones were really the scientists. Religion, it's a consequent things which has followed, but really they were scientists. And here, I don't know about sunrise and sunset because yesterday it was bright till 9 and sometimes you'll find dark in 5. But what I feel is at least dinner should be 2 to 3 hours before going to bed. Don't take dinner and directly go to bed. So adjust your timings. Now steps of spiritual progress. Step 1. Leave non-veg or animal food. If you want to progress, here I am talking from another angle. Not only from non-violence point, but these are the foods which lead to increase in covering layers on our inner pure knowledge light and inner pure perception light. આપણી અંદર આપણું જે શુદ્ધ ચેતન છે, જે અનંત જ્ઞાન અનંત દર્શન વાળું છે, એની ઉપર આવરણ લાવનારો આ ખોરાક છે. That's why we want to avoid it. So if you wish to progress spiritually, leave that. Second step, leave eggs, and you can use cereals, vegetables, pulses, roots, tubers and dairy products. Step 3, if you want to progress still further, try to avoid roots and tubers like potatoes. They also lead to avran or layers, but lesser than the non-veg. Step 4, if you have progressed to so much inner awareness, and if you want to progress still further, leave the dairy products like ghee, oil, honey, sugar and salt, which is termed in Shastra as vegan. And there is a concept of vegan food which avoids this. So main intent is to reduce the covering layers, have increasing awareness, and reduce inner weaknesses like anger, pride, greed, deceit, etc. So our main purpose, as I said initially, what is our purpose? Healthy body. Why? Healthy mind. Why? Healthy soul. So ultimately, we are aiming at inner spiritual progress. Fasting. This is a very important concept. People fast by habits. 11 છે કરવાની છે, મંગળવાર છે આજે કરી લઈએ, અને કેટલાક લોકો તો મંગળવારે સરસ મજાનું બનાવીને ખાય. ફરાળ કે છે ને, જેમાં રોજ કરતા વધારે આઈટમ હોય. But what is the concept of fasting? If you leave out your food for one day or even a part of it, the body's vitality system gets time to clean it up of the accumulated toxins. કચરો બાળવાનો એને સમય મળે છે. Part 1. So you will feel that your body has become light, it has become healthier. Second, your mind and reflective conscious also becomes little purer. And upavas is really, what is the definition of upavas? Up means to go nearer and stay nearer to whom? Nearer to your pure conscious, nearer to your pure self. So ultimate aim of fasting is to find out your own pure conscious and be with pure conscious or pure self. It should be used judiciously as per the need. It should not be done like a habit of or overdoing. અમારા જૈનોમાં એવું હોય છે કે પેલા અઠ્ઠાઈ કરી મારે કરવી જ જોઈએ, પેલા માર્ગ સમણ કર્યું મારે કરવું જ જોઈએ. અને બિલીવ મી, મેં એકવાર કરેલું મારા ફ્રેન્ડ જોડે. I tried, attempted to do 2 fastings in a row, and I was so hungry that my reflective consciousness was always from the previous day, પારણું ક્યારે થાય ખાવાનું ક્યારે મળે. So instead of going and staying nearer to the pure self, my reflective consciousness was staying in the kitchen when the time will be right. Don't do that. Eating less than hunger is the best idea. As I said, it is known as unodri. It helps in awareness, self-restraint and health too. Food for mind and soul. This is more important than, I would say, the food for body. To avoid or be alert about adulterated audio visuals. It is very, very common in present timings. We are bombarded with so many things that knowingly or unknowingly we feed all such things. We are fed within by all such things. And it is said that our inner self never remains empty. Either you will have positive atoms and molecules, positive vibrations and thoughts, or you will have a negative atoms, molecules or negative vibrations. So unless you are conscious and aware, everything will be fed in. So keep in touch with inspiring, positive reading, viewing or interactions. Today that's what we are trying here for a short time. Spiritual and be with the self. Be with the self. Which self? You find out as the day goes on. So this is all about the modern science perspective and the holistic science perspective about all intakes we have for all the five senses, for the mind and for the soul also. Thank you. And whatever time we have, we open the question.
Yeah, we have about 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Sure. And I will also like to say that at least my idea is not to be academically complete, not to be beautifully presenting the things, but if we can throw light, if we can make you think, make you aware of certain important areas of life, and if it creates some interest in you that, okay, let me go and find out more about this, I think the purpose of the seminar is served.
So anytime I don't see any hands, but what I'll do is I'll get started with a question. How do you prevent addiction to food? I mean, you hear a lot about people addicted to X, Y, and Z. What is the holistic science solution to addiction?
Can you name what addiction are you trying to?
Pizza.
Yeah. Well, fine. See the root. See what is the basis of holistic inner science? As the day progresses, I'll try to say that how my inner machinery and my outer machinery. Outer machinery means body, mind, speech, and inner machinery is my inner self is working. And it rests. The key point is software, which is not working. The mic is and the key point is, I may not be able to change my behavior and habits very soon. Holistic science does not expect you to change your behavior forcibly and very soon, but it aims to change your understanding. It